Hello, everyone. This is my favorite artist presentation. I decided to do mine on Deftones. They are probably my favorite band. I do like a lot of bands, though. Uh, Decided to do two songs from them. So the first one I chose was Diamond Eyes. That's off their 2010 album of the same name. One of the first things I noticed on that album was the meter. So when I counted along with it, I noticed that it was in simple triple for most of that verse riff, but they have an extra beat towards the end on some measures. And then in the chorus, it switches to a more of a 6/4 sort of time. At least that's what worked best when I counted along with it. As far as the tempo, uh, it sounds kind of slow, but surprisingly, it's at 153 beats per minute, which it would be considered allegro. The dynamics are very diverse and varying in the song. It goes from a simple sort of drum beat with some really low tuned guitar, and then long breathy vocals by their singer. His name is Chino Moreno. Uh, and then in the chorus, it goes into the guitar does more like really heavy chords, and then there's this pretty piano part that sort of complements it. And then towards the end of the chorus, they punctuate it with this really beautiful harmony when they say realm at the end. Um, and then they also have a lot of pauses where the guitar kind of um, rings out and the drums often kind of dip in and out, letting the rest of the instruments breathe a little bit. Um, just overall, really good use of dynamics in this track. As far as the instruments, their guitarist, I think the way you say his name is Stefan Carpenter or Stefan. I could be totally wrong, but he uses an 8-string guitar that is capable of some really low tunings, and I just love what that does with their tone. Uh, so they also have a bassist, a drummer, a synth slash keyboard player, and also their lead vocalist. There is quite a bit of repetition in this song, since it follows a structure of a verse, then a chorus, then another verse, and then the bridge and the chorus. Um, in that verse riff, there is so much dissonance. I think it's because they do like a chromatic descent sort of thing. Um, and then it sounds a little bit more consonant and beautiful in the chorus. Uh, the next song I listened to is this really cool one off their latest album. It's called Alms, the album anyway. Uh, and this other song is called Error. The meter for this one, mostly 4/4, but towards the end it kind of changes up. I think 6/4 worked for some of it, but I think they're doing some interesting stuff where it just kind of changes for some measures. As far as the tempo, it's much slower than Diamond Eyes, but um, parts of it sound kind of fast. So I was really surprised when it said it was at 115 beats per minute, which is uh, considered moderato. I hope I'm saying that right. As far as the dynamics for error, I think they're way more varying and more diverse than in Diamond Eyes. Uh, the beginning guitar riff sounds kind of like incredibly dissonant. Like it almost sounds like there isn't really pitch involved, but it's definitely in there. It's just like the whatever effect they're using, it sounds really, really dirty. Um, and then after that dissonant riff that it starts off with, it goes into this really cool sort of drivey and groovy sort of riff where Chino Moreno does his really beautiful melodic vocals over. Um, and then before going into that riff, like after ending the really dissonant guitar, Chino Moreno does kind of this screaming sort of crescendo and then switches back into clean vocals when the guitar and bass comes in. As far as instruments, not a whole lot has changed from Diamond Eyes. Still using an 8-string guitar with really low tuning. And then one thing that's different is the synthesizers are a lot more present in this album as a whole, and then also in Error. They kind of use this um, I guess I would describe it as a sine sort of synthesizer in the chorus um, that really complements Chino Moreno's vocals. Um, there's also a lot of repetition in Error, but the structure's just a little bit different. It's like it has two different verses and then a clear chorus. Uh, and then towards the end, it sort of has switches gears entirely and goes into this really beautiful sort of finale that every time I listen to it, I get goosebumps. It's just so pretty. Um, like I was saying, that guitar tone at the beginning sounds really harsh, and I think they're using some sort of special distortion effect, and they're doing some harmonics as they play that kind of enhance how dirty it sounds. It kind of reminded me of like when a computer um, is having trouble starting up or something, or it's like that really unpleasant sort of dial up sound that's kind of classic. Um, but then it gets more consonant, especially later in the song with the second version of the verse and then the distinct chorus that it has. Then the second half of the songs is very melodic and definitely consonant. So comparing the two, uh, I think they are both very clear and distinct Deftone songs. You can definitely tell the same band made them, but they're kind of different, and like I said, in structure and use of dynamics, but they also still use that really heavy, down-tuned guitar. That's kind of their thing. Um, one of my favorite things about this band in general is how every single one of their albums sort of has a theme to them or like a different vibe that they put out. Their newest album that Error is on is um, just a little bit less heavy than some of their older stuff, but um, definitely still gets heavy. But I feel like it's just a more beautiful album overall, and Error is no exception. Um, I think it's also a little bit more strange, and I think that's really necessary for staying relevant in today's music is embracing the weird and just getting a bit out there outside of the box. Whereas Diamond Eyes felt kind of safe for them. Um, well, that's about all I got for my analysis of these songs. I look forward to hearing everyone else's presentation, and um, yeah, that's about it. See y'all later.